Hello and welcome to the talk on Strimzi plus OpenTelemetry, where we were discussing how we can build an end-to-end open observability for Kafka on Kubernetes. So yeah, hi, this is Neel Shah, a DevOps community guy. I work as a developer advocate at Middleware, and I love to build DevOps communities in my local region. I run Google Cloud chapter of Gandhinagar and similarly CNCF chapter here in my local region. I have mentored more than 15 plus hackathons and have given talks in 10 plus conferences, including the Kubernetes Community, PlatformCon, KubeCon, and etc. So yeah, here comes the question. Why Kafka observability matters? Can anyone tell in the chat why observability matters? So before going on this, we have a basic understanding of the architecture of Kafka. So Kafka has major components like producer, consumer, topics, partitions, and it has a whole cluster sort of thing. It also have zookeeper. It also have bridge between that. So a lot of data transformation is going on. And when a producer produces data, it fetches to clusters, it fetches to some of the partition collection of partition can be a topic, and eventually in every topic there are some of sort of data. And then after there is interceptions where we can manipulate data if we want, and then it goes to consumer. So there are a lot of part or like a lot of pipeline sort of thing of data, and we need to take care because if some data is dropped and we don't know, then it creates a very much headache of us. And if the data is very important, then it can be a nightmare for anyone. So that's why it is important to create a proper observability pattern to trace each and every request and each and every data that is coming from producer and going to consumer. Each and everything can be traced. So Kafka is mission critical because it's for data pipeline. And nowadays in modern architecture, we are using Kubernetes clusters because that also increase complexity. If we are going on scale, then it creates a lot of headache for us. So that's why observability helps in that. If we have lack of visibility, then it is very slow troubleshooting and poor reliability. It creates a lot of headache for us. So enabling tracing. So tracing is like, let me give a short liner for tracing if someone don't know. So tracing is a whole to end-to-end request where you can track each and every request where they are coming and it has gone to a. So if you want to enable tracing on Kafka clients, there are two different approaches. We have first is external agent approach, where you install your external agent and it automatically fetches the data running on your cluster. The agent intercepts messages, and it goes in between, and it injects tracing information without requiring any code changes. So that is, if you consider a sidecar container, that works in the same process. But on the opposite side, the second process is that directly instrument that. So you need to install the dependencies and you need to import that in your project application, and then you can enable. You just need to call the functions of tracing, and then you can trace all the things in your dashboards. So what is Strimzi? Everyone knows, but yeah, just going on the flow. Why we had come on and how we are evolving that. So observability challenges in Kafka. Kafka has many moving parts. Moving in the sense, they are providing data, they are changing data, they are manipulating data, and in different manner. And it's not a smaller, and the data is not on a smaller scale, because in our current company we are pulling out 2 billion data in just 1 second. So that's not a small thing. So whenever the data is going on, and if it gets failed somewhere, it is very difficult. And we also want that we had a unified view. We don't want that we had some of the traces of producer in one portion, some of the traces of brokers in another portion. So we want that we had all the data on a single platter sort of thing, so we can visualize better and we have better understanding when it comes to troubleshooting. So architecture overview, there is producers, there is Strimzi, Kafka working on that between. We have OpenTelemetry SDK. So people who don't know OpenTelemetry, so if anything comes in observability space, OpenTelemetry is the baseline. OTL is one of the second most contributed project in CNCF landscape. So if you are interested around observability space, you should definitely go and see OpenTelemetry also. So then it goes to collector, then it goes to backend. Backend could be anything. Backend is a platform like where you can visualize things. You can use Grafana, you can use Tempo, even you can use middleware where I work. We also have Kafka integration dashboards, yeah, where you can directly see the things with two methods. That is, one is with agent, the other is installing the dependencies. So instrumenting Kafka producers and consumer. So when you go with SDKs, so it is in Java, Python, Go, and many other languages. So they have their support of OpenTelemetry in most of the languages. Even in .NET, PHP, you can do that. And next comes the auto instrumentation for supported libraries. So auto instrumentation, I told that it works as a sidecar container, and you don't need to juggle in between of the codes. And also add context propagation, because context helps you to identify and segregate different things when it has a lot of data. So you can trace the spans from publish to consume, and same way a producer to consumer. So here is example of installing a Java agent and just pulling out the data for producer. You can see Kafka producer here is region. So if you want to do for the consumer, because whenever you want this, you need to do this in producer, and you also do the same thing in consumer, so that you had all the things together. So in similar, this is just example how you can do that, and similar manner you can also do that in consumer also. Apart from that, I also told about OpenTelemetry has their SDKs. So for SDKs, you need to import their libraries, and also this kind of, the syntax would be like around something like that. If you have SDK extensions, and you need to import some of the functions of that, then you can store the data. So instrumenting Kafka client directly. First is adding dependency. So adding OpenTelemetry Kafka clients module in your application directly. And next would be you can add exporter dependency. That is OpenTelemetry exporter Jagger. You can see the data in Jagger, or you can see the data in Grafana. You can collect data from Prometheus and show in the Grafana also. The minimum setup is you just leave it, and if you want a minimum setup, you just provide some of the dependencies of Kafka and just allow the auto instrumentation of that. So utilizing Kafka inceptors for tracing. So first is there is a producer inceptor. So when a producer inceptor is there, it always creates a send span each time when the message is sent. So it will literally initiate the message flow sort of thing whenever each time the data is seen. Then we have consumer sort of thing. Consumer, it receives data, but it has a continuous span that is produced by the producer inceptor, and it will take an ahead if after consumer also, if it is fetching up to some of the clients of Kafka. The inceptors are set in Kafka's client. So at least the span generator is from Kafka's client, and it can be traceable after all the processes of that. So span is basically when you send a request or when you send a data, it generates a one trace ID, and along with that, it has a one parent span. So parent span is nothing like ID which has sort of thing, and apart from that, it goes the data which goes in some smaller processes. It generates a different span. So they are their child span. So you can, whenever you see whole data sort of thing, I have some dashboards after this. So whenever you see data sort of thing, it will be helpful for you to understand better and to have traceability of that, like the data has fallen from this process to this process. And the major thing from this is you will be able to see from where the data is dropped. So that is the biggest thing which can be helpful for a lot of companies. So you see, you can see a visualization traces. So and in traces they have tags like span kind. This is producer. This one is for a consumer. If you see a lot of things, you can also have and this is the whole trace. So if you see different span, then it also shows how much time it has taken, how much time in milliseconds it has taken, and different processes. Similarly, if you have some tags, if you have some topics on there, from which topic it had came, where what is the message, this is the destination. So you can all see over here in the whole traceability platform. So instrumenting and action. When instrumenting Kafka clients, you can observe, send and receive spans in your tracing UI initially. So it has a same trace with the child of relationship. So as I already told you, there is a parent span and child span in similar manner for send and receive. It also generates a similar pattern sort of relationship between the traces. So visualizing traces. So if you want the data to be visualized and some of the platform like Grafana, Tempo, Jagger, you can have that. And the best thing is you can also correlate the logs and matrices. So correlation is nothing but it gives more insights, it gives more things for your application to understand better, like what are the better things, what are the things which can be improved, and how the efficiency can be improved, sort of thing. Observing Kafka internals. So as you many of you are working with Kafka, you know internals how they work. So Strimzi exposes matrices with Prometheus. All the matrices are exposed to Prometheus, and through Prometheus, you can see the dashboards in any platform. Let it be Grafana or let it be any SaaS platform like middleware, Neural Lake, Datadog, any platform sort of thing. Combined with OpenTelemetry is the biggest thing for full picture, for full understanding how the things are going on in the backend. But the thing is, previously, if you don't have observability, so what happened is you have sent the data from the producer. The producer has generated data, and you send to the consumer. The whole process is going on, and you don't know actually how there is flowing out. So it's like a black box. Eventually you have logs or something, but you don't actually what is going on there. You can visualize Strimzi and it's like and a dashboard like this. It is a predefined dashboard in Grafana. You can also use it. I will also show you the links of this. So there are brokers. How many brokers are online? How many controllers are active? How many replicas are running on of the cluster? How many incoming message is there, what is the rate of that, how many producer requests are there, what is the request per second of that. Also a lot of things can be seen over here. So what are the key takeaways? So key takeaway will be adopt OpenTelemetry. OpenTelemetry is the framework, benchmark framework on which every observability platform is built. So have more understanding on OpenTelemetry. Use Strimzi to manage Kafka on Kubernetes on prod with embedded observability. You can just need to install agents, or you need to install SDK dependency, and then boom, you can see the data over here. Visualize because it helps you better understand which at which place it is taking longer time, so you can improve that. And as a person also we also want that application performance uh, be more. And yeah, engage with community. It has a lot of and if you go on CNCF Slack channel, there is a channel called Strimzi. You can also network with pair people. If you have some questions over there, you can also drop over there. So yeah, what are the best practices for this? Use OpenTelemetry auto instrumentation, enable trace context, in Kafka headers to have better capability, to have better understanding. Use centralized collector for pipelines. Don't go for I can monitor Kafka producer in this, Kafka consumer in this, and doing all the things independently. Apart from that, you should do centralized things, centralized collector where all the things are there in a single place, and you can see all the things over there. And monitor the broker and app metrics together. It can help you because the broker, yeah, a lot of time helps how to have a better understanding how the data is going on, how the data is flowing out. Secure telemetry data in multi-tenant clusters. Similarly, in multi-tenant, people might know like how it works, but sometimes it doesn't work. So yeah, when you have when you have such a complex setup, then it is very able to secure all the things because you are working with the data. So what are the roadmaps ahead and what's next? Observability for Kafka Connect, Kafka Streams. We have Strimzi Kafka Bridge, and we can use that also. And yeah, it may be for several consumers, maybe in some time, but yeah, people are some of people have achieved this by doing something, and yeah, this is something like I will say first go on consumer producer and the partition topics, and then you can go ahead on this. So what are the official resources? Like some of the resources for this, go on to official Strimzi doc. Apart from that, some of the blogs of Strimzi are also there, and OpenTelemetry documentation. You can also go on that. Apart from that, Grafana dashboards are also present of Strimzi. You can also go on that and check out the dashboards. I can probably help you out that. And yeah, thank you. I have covered most of the things that I wanted to cover, at least because I wanted that you have an understanding of how observability can be done and how it looks. Because you had seen the dashboard and even you had seen the trace, how it looks of producer consumer and how you can segregate the things out. And you can connect with me if you have inquiries, and you can drop the questions over here. And also, I can also show you if you just type Grafana Streamzy dashboards, and there are Streamzy Kafka exporter dashboards. You can directly import the JSON, and there are also Streamzy demo dashboards available of Kafka, and a lot of dashboards are available for exporters also. So you can go and search and see out there, like if it's helpful for you. Yeah, I have done from my end, and if you have a question, I will allow to answer that.
Thank you so much. That was really, really interesting. I can't see any questions as of yet, but feel free to drop one in if you have one. I did have a question. So I know that you're talking here about instrumenting with the Java Kafka clients, I guess. And I believe OpenTelemetry is a project that provides SDK for other languages and frameworks. Do you have any experience with some of the other languages of using clients for Kafka?
Yeah. So most of the OpenTelemetry has most of the SDKs in most of the languages. Let it be Java, .NET, Python, Node, and most of the languages that are people are, and Go. So most of the languages that are run by a lot of people.
Cool.
And I will just suggest like people in this space, if you haven't much touch about observability, you just at least understand OpenTelemetry first, and it will really helpful for you.